Hello there. My name is Claudia Lash. I have been a quilter for a long time, and along about early 2000s, I think, I decided that I wanted to make a quilt that I'd heard about, and I thought, I want to try this quilt. And at my local quilt shop, which was Quilts Plus in Indianapolis, they had a class offered for making this quilt. This is a double wedding ring quilt. And you probably heard a lot about it. It was quite popular, and it is quite a popular quilt pattern to make. So I thought, that's what I want to learn to do. And I suggest if you're learning to quilt and just getting started, you might want to start with something a little bit easier, a little bit more basic. But I really wanted to do it, and I think taking a class is the best way to go, because you get a lot of extra help, and something like this type of quilt, it's helpful if you have somebody to ask questions about. Plus, you get to do that with your friends. One of the things I remember about this class was after we would sew in the class, we would go to the nearest restaurant, and we'd have lunch together or have a snack. And I keep thinking, when I think about this quilt, I remember Terry and I and friends, we would go and eat our, have a little snack after we went to class. So, good friends, classes, it's all good. This is my double wedding ring quilt, and I enjoyed making it. I suggest, like I said, if you're going to make it, you probably want to try a class. I usually have the pattern that I did. I couldn't find a pattern when I was looking for it. I started the quilt in early 2000. I finished it in 2006. So it took me a good while to make it. And the name of the quilt is My One and Only Double Wedding Ring Quilt. So that might give you an idea of why I would not, I don't think I'm going to make another one. One was it for me. It's just a little bit of work. I found these templates that I have kept. These were really helpful in the class. You have a template for each section. Template for this, a template for this section. You have a little template to make each of the little sections of the quilt. So, and on the back of my templates, on some of them I have little green sticky things. Some of them have a thicker plastic thing. I don't even know if they make these kind of holders before, but if you do use something like this, it's helpful to have something to keep the templates from slipping and sliding. I think I've seen new templates now that already have the something on the back to hold them steady so they don't slide. Then I cut these with a rotary cutter, with a small rotary cutter, and then sewed them. I'm sure that I sewed them on the sewing machine. But after you get them sewn, you've got curves to deal with. It just takes a little extra time to sew this kind of a quilt. And after I had it sewn, and I thought, I'll just have to quilt it. So I hand quilted the whole thing. And I still have my stencils from the hand quilting that I did inside the rings. And in this section, these are all the same designs. Inside the ring parts, I just quilted about 1/4 of an inch in on each of the parts. So the quilting took a fairly long time to do too. And then the binding on something like this, if you're going to take the time, you have to make your binding so that it comes in and then curves around. The binding has to be a bias binding so that it will curve. And then it's trickier to go into a little indent and then come back out. So the whole thing is just a labor of love. Finally, I was talking to my husband, and the top of the quilt has a sleeve on it. And that's great so that you can hang it on the wall and so that we can have it in our bedroom sometimes. But as every time we hang this somewhere, the top parts seem to want to tip back. I don't know if there's any way to keep that from happening, because you really do need a sleeve. And if you put the sleeve down a little farther, I'm afraid the top of the quilt might touch the ceiling of a normal room. So I don't know. We just have to live with that. It's there. And the way I wanted to do it color-wise was to have different, like I have several purple rings, some that are more of a, I don't know, a purple or a red violet. There are pink ones. There's some that are done with orange. I purposely did the rings from light to dark, so I made 4 of these sections to make this ring. And then I think this ring may have there may be another similar one on here, perhaps over there. So I purposely went from light to dark and then dark to light so that they looked like they were rings of different colors, and put these golden yellow pieces in the center. I really like the quilt. I plan to keep it and give it to one of my kids one day, but it will be the only double wedding ring quilt that I think I'm going to make. I don't know why I would keep all of these, except for maybe someday somebody else will want to use them and make their own double wedding ring quilt. So I just thought I better show it to you, because you don't know how many years you got left, and somebody may see this one day and wonder, what's the story behind this double wedding ring quilt. So thank you for watching.